Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to RiverWoods Exeter 101. Happy that you could join us today on this beautiful day in New Hampshire. My name is Lisa Clark, and I am sales manager here at RiverWoods Exeter. My co-presenter today is Chrissy Cady, who's one of our senior living sales counselors. Not joining us today is Dan Witham, another senior living sales counselor. Between the three of us, it's our role to help you get informed about RiverWoods Exeter and decide if this might be someplace you want to consider calling home someday. So Dan and Chrissy and myself are each assigned to those of you who are on the webinar today, and we'll be following up with you in the next day or so. So in the coming hour, we're going to be sharing a lot of information with you. I just want to go through a couple of housekeeping items. Everyone is on mute, but we are going to have an opportunity for questions at the end of this session. And the way that you will submit those questions is through the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you're on a tablet or some other type of device, that menu may either be at the side or the top of your screen. But I would encourage you to wait until we get to the end of the presentation to start typing those questions, because chances are we're going to answer most of what you may be having questions about. We always welcome suggestions on how we can improve these webinars. And if you have an idea for a future topic, we would love to hear your thoughts on that. So we're going to start with a little history lesson on RiverWoods Exeter. So RiverWoods Exeter, or actually RiverWoods in general, was the original dream of these two women, Mariana Hatch, who lived in Durham, and Rosemary Coffin, who lived in Exeter. And these two women began planning for this community in the early 1980s with the goal of building a community where they could make new friends, get involved in causes they care about, and stop worrying about their future healthcare needs. And at the time, there really wasn't anything in the Seacoast area that provided those services. So they planned around the kitchen table to create RiverWoods Exeter, which opened in 1994. And today, we have not only RiverWoods Exeter, but we opened RiverWoods Durham in November 2019, and we also have RiverWoods Manchester, which we opened in 2016. So what began as the dream of a small group of New Hampshire residents who wanted to create a better way to improve the experience of aging for others has really evolved now into three communities. All of us share the same mission, which is to be a leader in providing a superior option for the growing number of seniors who are seeking community as well as peace of mind. These are our three communities today. The original one of RiverWoods Exeter, and you're seeing a picture there of the three campuses within the Exeter community. RiverWoods Manchester, which we actually acquired from another company in 2016, and then we rebranded it in 2021 as RiverWoods. And then RiverWoods Durham, which we built and opened in 2019. As I said, all three of these communities share the same mission. We are all non-for-profit communities, and our mission is to improve the experience of aging. We all have the same values, and we are all advised by a volunteer board that's focused on operations. So this is our governance structure today. We have what's known as a CCRC board, which it stands for Continuing Care Retirement Community. So that's a board of trustees. It really is the governing body for the three communities. That board consults with the CEO of the RiverWoods system, a woman by the name of Justine Vogel. And Justine reports into another board, which we call the System Board, and that's the RiverWoods Board of Trustees, which is really focused more on mission and future growth and sustainability of our organization. The RiverWoods Group is the entity that provides professional fee-based services to our three RiverWoods communities and supports them in areas such as finance, information technology, human resources, marketing, and quality of care. The RiverWoods Group is also able to fund at-risk portions of projects within these three communities, as well as new ventures. It is important to note, though, that the three RiverWoods communities are financially independent of one another, and each has the opportunity to provide additional funding to the RiverWoods Group that then in turn helps fund some of those special projects. So let's drill down into RiverWoods Exeter. We have three neighborhoods that we call campuses at RiverWoods Exeter. The original one is called the Woods Campus. It is the largest of the three. It's the one we opened in 1994, and we have 201 apartments there. 10 years later, we opened our Ridge campus, which has 81 apartments and 11 cottages. And then 6 years after that, we opened our third campus here in Exeter, which is called the Boulders. And the Boulders has 75 apartments and 24 cottages. It's important to note when you're looking at continuing care retirement communities, whether or not they are accredited by any organizations. We are very proud to share that we are accredited as a not-for-profit continuing care retirement community by an organization that's called CARF International. CARF stands for the Commission for the Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. Because we offer nursing care and short-term rehab here, we are considered a rehabilitation facilities because we provide those services to our residents. So CARF is a nonprofit accreditor of health and human services throughout the world, yet only about 10% of CCRCs are actually accredited. And RiverWoods Exeter was among the earliest to receive accreditation back in 1999. And just this past fall, we were reaccredited for an additional 5 years. If you'd like to know more about CARF, you can go to their website, which is listed here at www.carf.org, and you can explore whether some other communities that you might be considering are also accredited. So some of you, I think, are on different learning curves about what's known as life care communities. And you'll see these terms used interchangeably, life care or continuing care communities. And really what a life care community is it's a community that's going to provide you with the various spectrums of support here, starting within independent living and going all the way through long-term care. And it's considered to be a smart financial solution. And here's why. Really what you're purchasing when you come to RiverWoods is you're purchasing long-term care insurance. Because we are going to take care of you from the day you move in to independent living through end of life. Our entry fee that you pay when you come to live here is 90% refundable. So it does serve as a form of estate preservation, knowing that 90% of the fee that you pay when you move in is going to go back to your estate. Additionally, you will pay monthly service fees when you're living in a life care community. And RiverWoods Exeter is what's known as a Type A CCRC contract. With a Type A contract, you have unlimited access to assisted living and nursing care for the rest of your life with no change in the fee contingent on level of care. So I want to clarify, we have annual price increases, but whether you're living independently or you're living in long-term care or short-term rehab, your fee doesn't change. So you're paying the same monthly fee, and it gives you some predictability financially because none of us know what's going to happen with our health or when we might need a higher level of care. But you can be guaranteed that with a Type A CCRC contract, your fee will remain consistent regardless of what level of care you're receiving at RiverWoods. We have a very broad spectrum of healthcare resources here at RiverWoods. So we're resourced to support not just your healthcare needs today, but also your future healthcare needs. When you're living as an independent living resident at RiverWoods, you will be able to access the wellness clinic, which is staffed by a nurse practitioner who can attend to, monitoring ongoing illnesses that you may have, or you can have them take a look at you if you have something happening that you're concerned about. They don't replace your primary care physician, but they are on site Monday through Friday for you to be able to access if you have questions or feel the need to be seen by a medical professional. When you move, or if you move into assisted living, you would be living in an apartment. So we have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments within assisted living. And then we also provide for people with dementia, we have memory support, and then we also have nursing care in private suites. We also can provide respite care. So if you are just temporarily needing some support, you can go into the healthcare center here and stay overnight and be all taken care of until you have fully recovered and are able to return to independent living. Our medical director here is Dr. Timothy Keenan. So he oversees our healthcare nursing care, and he is affiliated with Core Physicians here in Exeter. Now, most of the services that you will receive here will be covered by your monthly service fee. So again, it allows you to have some predictability in terms of what your expenses will be. I see a question popped up. Is there a waiting list to get into memory care or assisted living? We're going to take all the questions at the end, and Chrissy and I will be taking turns answering those at that point in time. We're going through a bit of an evolution with healthcare here at RiverWoods Exeter. To the way that the community was originally designed and how we still operate today is that we have 3 healthcare lodges. We have 1 at each campus that provides assisted living, long-term care, and memory support. We also, at one of our campuses, have short-term rehab. That sits at our Ridge campus. So if you are coming out of the hospital due to either a planned or an unplanned event and you need to have some rehabilitation, you can do that right here at our Ridge campus. There's a few challenges with how we originally designed this community, 30, 35 years ago. One being it's not very efficient with staffing. So we have about 30 to 35 residents in each of these 3 locations, yet we need to provide the full complement of nursing 24/7, which is a challenge, as most of you know, in today's labor environment with all the changes that have occurred within healthcare. The second challenge is we have pretty limited amenities within our healthcare lodges. So on the independent side, we have hair salons and libraries and, fitness spaces. We don't really have that on the healthcare side. And yet those are services that residents would want to access. Thirdly, we have now some dated buildings, particular Woods campus, which opened in 1994. It's more than 30 years old, and it's really impairing our ability to install updated technology that's being used consistently throughout the healthcare environments. So a few challenges there that have really caused us to rethink how we support our residents with healthcare at RiverWoods. So we are looking at actually consolidating our 3 small healthcare lodges into 1 new centralized healthcare center that would be on our land here. conveniently located to the three campuses. And that healthcare center will provide assisted living, long-term care, short-term rehab, and will actually have distinct memory support residences. Today, we actually combine our memory care with our long-term care because we simply don't have the scale of residents to be able to dedicate separate space to our residents who are living with dementia. So in this new building, we will actually have a dedicated memory support area. So the benefits are many. So first of all, it's going to be a beautiful space. I'm going to throw out this term you may or may not have heard of biophilic design. And biophilic design is really being used widely in healthcare now as a way to enhance healing by bringing in more natural elements, more light, more greenery. And this building will be designed to incorporate that concept of biophilic design. We'll be able to bring in state-of-the-art technology because it'll be new construction, and we'll be able to wire it and provide all the bells and whistles that can support better delivery of care in a healthcare environment. And then thirdly, but really importantly, is it will allow us to have all of our healthcare staff in one space so that if needed, we can shift that staff around to make sure that we have robust staffing where we need it. That is a big, big benefit of having all of our residents who require healthcare within one building together. Here's a few renderings of what the proposed design will be. On the upper left, you'll see a picture of the front. The design has changed a little bit from what you're seeing here, but I think you get the concept of sort of the nice natural look blending in with the landscape. The lower left, you'll see a courtyard space there. So we're really trying to, again, in support of biophilic design, create spaces, whether they're courtyard spaces or rooftop decks or greenhouses for residents to enjoy. And then on the right side is a rendering of the lobby area. This is really going to be designed to have an auditorium and a destination space where we will have events, and it'll be a draw for people on the independent living side to come and not only see events there, but also engage with people that they may want to be visiting within the healthcare lodge. So that's a little bit about this. It'll be on our land here at the corner of White Oak Drive and Route 111. Once the building goes up and we've moved our residents into this building, we will be repurposing the space in the former 3 healthcare lodges to be adding more independent living apartments. So we're planning on adding about 70 apartments across the 3 campuses, which should help our wait times. There is still work being done to gain approval on this concept, but what I've shared with you is what our vision is. And we're still working with the Town of Exeter Planning Board and Zoning Board, excuse me, to get approval and hopeful that that will be happening within the coming months. Okay, let's talk about what's included if you come to live at RiverWoods Exeter, some of the services and amenities here. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about a dining program, but your monthly fees do include some dining points, which will cover some of your meals here. Each of our 3 campuses have fitness centers, and we have two actively used pools right now that you'll have access to. We have a pretty broad array of entertainment and cultural opportunities that our residents are able to enjoy who live here. We have an excellent transportation team that can get you not only between the 3 campuses, but also to scheduled doctor's appointments, to the grocery, to various places culturally. They do a great job getting residents where they need to go. Your monthly fees will cover biweekly housekeeping as well as weekly flat linen service. So we will launder your sheets and your towels each week. We take care of all of the interior and exterior home maintenance. So, for those of you who are still managing a home and scratching your head about what plumber might show up, you don't have to worry about that anymore. We take care of all of the maintenance, both inside and out of your home. Your monthly service fee covers your utilities, so it'll cover your heat, your air conditioning, your water, your electricity. And then you also have unlimited access to our wellness clinics. That is covered by your monthly service fee as well. And we offer 24-hour security and emergency response here. And that's a really, really important element of feeling secure when you're living in a life care community. So we have excellent security team here, as well as technology built into our residences that makes sure that our residents will have someone responding to them when they need it. Dining is a really important part of living in any community. It's an important part for me personally of my enjoyment in life because I'm a foodie. The way the plan works here at RiverWoods is we have a monthly bank of dining points that are included in your monthly service fee. And those points can be used in a variety of ways. They can be used for meals in the dining room. They can be used for takeout meals. You can use the points if you have guests visiting and you want them to dine with you at RiverWoods. We also provide catering services, and we also have perishable groceries at all three of our campuses. And you can use your dining points to purchase things like milk and eggs and orange juice and strawberries and ice cream. So really very flexible plan. We have 5 different restaurants across our 3 campuses, and regardless of which campus you live on, you can access any of those restaurants. And we really, our dining team works hard to be sensitive to dietary preferences as well as restrictions. So you will see our menus will be labeled with gluten-free, dairy-free, as well as vegetarian choices. We try to source as much as we can locally. We are fortunate to have wonderful farmers in this area, providing not only produce, but also meats, as well as fish. So we source as much as we possibly can from the local New Hampshire farmers. This is a picture of our dining room in our Boulders campus. Beautiful fireplace. You'll find fireplaces in all 3 of our dining rooms. And this is a picture of our bistro, which is a more casual dining space in our Ridge campus. Through that doorway in the rear that leads into the more formal dining room where people tend to have dinner. Again, regardless of what campus you live on, you can eat in any campus in any dining room. We also have what we call country stores at all 3 campuses. You are looking at a picture of the very well-appointed country store at our Woods campus. Our country stores are run by residents who volunteer their time to do the purchasing and the stocking and the staffing of items in these convenient groceries that are located right on your campus. So you'll see a range of things from breakfast cereals to personal care items to cleaning products, really just about anything you might need. And really is convenient because it saves you from having to go out to the grocery. Anything you would purchase in the country store would just be added on to your monthly bill. We don't deal with any cash here. Everything is just handled through our central billing system. So makes it really, really convenient. And at this particular store in the Woods campus, you'll also find gift items. So greeting cards, wonderful different gifts. So if you've forgotten somebody's birthday and you need to go grab something quick, you can run over to the country store at the Woods and pick up a gift and you'll be all set. So really quite a convenience to have our country stores right on campus. I am now going to transition the presentation over to Chrissy, who can give you a better sense of really what there is to do here day to day, as well as what some of the residences look like at RiverWoods Exeter.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm looking at this picture here of Janet and her bell, and just looking at the scenery behind her. This is exactly what it looks like right now. We had so much rain earlier that everything is just green and beautiful right now, and so our campuses are looking really nice at the moment. But as Lisa said, I'm going to move on to talk to you about some of the activities here that are important to you and the spaces that you can live in. You're looking right now at our largest community space, Boulders Hall. It is the largest space and it seats up to 200 people theater style. And this is a great location to host our lectures, performances, concerts, anything where a stage is a great place to be. As you can see, the Boulders is known for their stage in the front there. And it's a popular space to be, and it's a large space for our largest gatherings. We also have resident meetings, all employee meetings there, and any kind of a community update if we know that it's going to be a large gathering. You can also choose from a wide array of events that are listed on your biweekly calendar here that each resident will receive. And all three of our campuses actually have large spaces to accommodate gatherings. This happens to be the largest one, but every campus can host lectures, events, and concerts as well. Just to give you an idea of what we've hosted here in the past, Boulders Hall has hosted our local author Dan Brown, former presidential candidates. We always invite the political candidates from all parties during our primary season, so that's always exciting for residents. And we always host our very own RiverWoods Chorus here for their bi-year. I think they perform twice a year, so it's a nice space for that as well. Just talking about all of the events here, we should be talking about our education committee, and the educational enrichment that you receive here. Our education committee is an all-campus committee, so all three campuses here, and their mission is to provide enrichment opportunities to our residents through educational programs, lectures, short courses, and they cater to a wide variety of interests. So you'll always find something of interest here. They use both inside speakers, outside speakers, and the committee is resident run, so it's a very active committee. They meet regularly to discuss the opportunities for different lectures and trips, and also review the committee duties. And they also work in collaboration with our community life team to not only promote our events, but also book the space on campus. Just to give you an idea of programs that were covered, in 2023, there were over 20 in-person programs provided across all three of our campuses. And topics included a variety of interests, such as the arts, history, crafts, performances, archaeology, geology, nature, travel, our local services and town departments, literature, our environment here, and then issues around aging, plus many, many more. On top of that, each one of our campuses has a beautiful library, well-stocked, also run by a resident library committee, very active committee that has a budget, and they are able to purchase new books whenever needed. And they are interconnected with each other. So if you are living at the Ridge and you go to that library and can't find the book you're looking for, we are interconnected on an electronic computer where you can look it up. And if we have that book at the Woods or Boulders campus, they can send it over through our campus service vehicles. Also, I want to mention, as a resident of the town of Exeter, you would also have the privilege of our Exeter Town Library, which is also a wonderful place with quite a few activities and lectures that you can take advantage of there as well. We often have one of the librarians there who will come and give lectures here in right in one of our common spaces here and bring a variety of books that you can check out and do while you're here at Riverwoods. So you've exercised your mind, but now it's time to find out how you can exercise your body here. It's very easy to stay active here. And no matter what level of fitness you start with, you usually improve as you live here. There's all sorts of options. You can take a few laps on one of our indoor pools. You can work out in one of our cardio fitness centers. We also have some wonderful classes that are guided by our trained instructors here. We have a wonderful team who is always looking for the newest class that's the most interesting to residents and always trying to find things that make you enjoy movement. We have a walking group here, a cycling and hiking group. We are interconnected with over 4 miles of hiking or snowshoe trails. It's you can exercise by yourself or you can exercise with a group, however you prefer. You're looking here at the Boulders pool. This is our largest pool, wonderful for lap swimming, but also provides aqua aerobics each week. You can find aqua aerobics here at the Boulders and the Ridge. And as well as a resident run and resident created activity on Wednesday afternoons, aqua volleyball, which has become quite a very popular activity here. Each pool also has a hot tub there, so often our aqua aerobics members will enjoy using the hot tub after their class. They say it's their favorite part. And this is another shot of one of our cardio rooms. This is at the Boulders, but we have cardio rooms at each campus. Any machine that you're used to using in one of the gyms that you might go to now is there. When I tour people around, I tend to have residents check out each space, and they always note their favorite machines are there. So no matter what, you can always get that 30 minutes of cardio in. No excuses. Moving on to our outdoor sports, you're looking at some happy pickleball players here. They always encouraging others to join them. So if you are an avid pickleball player, you will find a place here in that group. If you've never played before, they are always encouraging others to learn and play. We have 2 pickleball courts outside here at Gooch Park. You'll often see as soon as the weather gets nice, our happy pickleball players playing in the late morning. Now, this is another wonderful feature of Riverwoods. The arts are very important to us as well. You're looking at a picture of one of our residents who had not loved drawing and painting, but hadn't done so in a long time, just busy with his family and work. And when he moved in, he was so inspired by some of the artists here and noticing all of our creative spaces to do art. And so he started it up again, and you'll see him at our Woods campus every morning, honing his craft. So no matter what, you can explore your creative side here with either art studios, but this one is actually our Pinkham Art Studio. This is where our residents love to paint because of all the beautiful natural light that comes in. But you'll also notice in the lower left corner our Nantucket basket weaving. And that's a very popular thing for new residents to come in and at least learn how to make one basket. We have residents who teach the Nantucket basket weaving, which has started from when the Woods first opened, and they've continued the craft. So that's another fun thing to do. We have pottery studios and other creative art spaces for anyone to enjoy. as well as our woodworkers. These are our very active woodworkers. They have a committee as well. I'm sure you're seeing the theme here, a very active group of people who get together to work on lots of different projects. And this group can make anything from canoe paddles to cutting boards to furniture. You'll notice on the left the marsh trail sign, so they'll also make benches and trail signs for our many trails around our campus. And if you haven't seen enough of activity here, our music is also very important to us. And you can find a group, whether it's a string group, a women's barbershop quartet, a ukulele group. We had a group of women who wanted to learn or relearn how to play the recorder. And now they're playing actual classical music with their recorder. So it's pretty amazing. But if you have an interest in music and you can't find a group here, then you can absolutely start one. So we at RiverWoods benefit from all of the musical talent here during some of the events we host throughout the year. So it's always nice to see our residents and working along with some of our staff. Now, this time of year, I have always wished that I was a gardener, but I unfortunately have a black thumb. However, if you are a master gardener, or if you enjoy being outside and working with flowers and vegetables, you will not be alone. We have quite a few residents who have continued working in the gardens even after moving here. We have many raised garden beds throughout each of our campus, right around the buildings, throughout each campus. We have a very, again, active gardening committee who also help our landscaping team with a lot of the flowers and gardening in the front entrances of our buildings. You can also, if you just enjoy being outside and enjoy the foliage, we are the one of New Hampshire's largest arboretums with over 300 species of trees and bushes here. We also work very hard to practice organic landscaping techniques, working with our landscaping team here. And another couple of interesting facts is that we have a couple of beekeepers here. So we have bees that have been so successful that we can sell our honey in our country stores. And we also have some goats that we inherited from a local farm, which is always fun to walk by and even bring your families by to enjoy. So now let's move on to looking at some of the space here. You're looking here at just the outside of one of our cottages here. Our cottages and apartments are all fully equipped with full kitchens, HVAC, air conditioning and heat, Wi-Fi enabled everywhere. One of our claims to fame, one of the things we really find important in all of our apartments are our solariums to let in all this beautiful natural light into your living rooms. You have the ability to get a guest room here at all three of our campuses. You have outside outdoor parking available, assigned to you. You can pay a little extra to have some covered parking options, and all of our cottages have 2-car garages. Looking at one of our particular apartments here at the Woods, this is a Trillium, which is a large 1-bedroom. And you can really see that solarium in the background there that's letting in a lot of natural light. This picture also gives you an idea of some of the new standards we are using, which is the luxury vinyl plank on the floors. It allows you to bring your wonderful area rugs in, and neutral colors on the wall. That you can really, decorate your space how you'd like to decorate it. And this is the same apartment, but just a different view with one of the kitchens here. And it just shows you if we are replacing cabinets when we refurbish the apartment, we're using the white shaker style. We replace all of the appliances with stainless steel. And you'll have a choice of quartz or granite if you're replacing the cabinets as well. Again, we're looking at a beautiful, this is a large 2-bedroom at our Ridge campus, and bringing in all that light again with the solarium and opening up our kitchens to kind of show that your entire common space is well lit with natural light. And then this picture I love because it really shows how a resident made their space their own by using our standard features here. And they were able to bring in their favorite pieces from their home and really create their own home here when they moved in. This is, again, this is a 2-bedroom apartment called a Cypress, and this is located at our Boulders campus. And then here's an example of our kitchen, one of our kitchens in one of our cottages. Again, using new cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, and either quartz or granite options. But you have, if you're a foodie and you like to cook, this is there's plenty of space in here for you to store your fancy kitchen items and plenty of space to create your wonderful meals. When you're exploring Riverwoods, we always recommend that you explore our location, our surrounding locations. We're near downtown Exeter. We have 200 acres near the Exeter River. We have easy access to both Portsmouth and Manchester, an hour from Portland and Boston, which also we feature a train station right in downtown Exeter, which can take you all the way to Portland and down to Boston. And then you're right near the New Hampshire seacoast as well. And there's quite a bit of proximity to the mountains in our lakes region. So there's lots to explore. I recommend that you look at Seacoast Online to get a feel of our entire community. And if you've been exploring us and looking into us already, you probably are aware that we are one of the best in the country with tax advantages, no general sales tax, no personal income tax, no capital gains tax, one of the top New England states, and 5th lowest tax burden in the country. So it's well to look into that as well. And we always like to end a little bit, or my presentation here, with some of the pricing. This is just this is a range of pricing. If you're interested in learning more, when your sales counselor calls, we can explore that with you. But we have apartments ranging from studios all the way to cottages, square footage from 570 square feet all the way to over 2,000 square feet. So our entrance fees, first person range from 237,000 all the way to just over $1 million. And then if you have a second person, you would add the $60,000 entrance fee to that. And then our monthly service fees range from 3,000, a little over 3,000 to a little over 9,000, adding for a second person the 2,052. Our prices will change July 1st. So this is kind of our 2024 pricing. And if you're interested in getting a new price sheet, just reach out to your sales counselor. And now I'm going to turn this back to Lisa to explain, if you're interested, if what we've described already is interesting to you, this is how you would join our waitlist.
Great. Thanks so much, Chrissy. So we are nearing the point in time where you can ask questions, but I'm going to talk before we get there about our waitlist process, because we do have a waitlist here. If you've looked at any communities or talked to friends who are exploring communities, you know that most of us do have wait lists. The group of residents you're looking at here are our bocce players at our Woods campus. So we have bocce courts at both the Woods campus as well as at the Ridge campus. The required attire is striped socks, and they have a whole lot of fun playing bocce. We also do have horseshoes, so we love our outdoor games. So let's talk about how to get onto the RiverWoods Exeter wait list. We are now estimating a wait time of anywhere from 4 to 10 years before you would be offered a residence here for apartments and cottages. And it's a pretty broad range because it really depends on the floor plan that you're waiting for. We have about 40 different styles of apartments and cottages, ranging from the studios all the way up through our larger cottages. So the longest wait times we expect are for the large 2 bedroom apartments and the cottages. There's just a lot of demand for those sizes, and then usually those size of residences have 2 people living in them. So we need to wait for both people to move out before the apartment or the cottage opens up. Mm. So for 1 bedroom, we're estimating about a 4 year wait. Sometimes it may be less, but it's really Chrissy's and Dan's and my jobs to work with you and recommend what you might want to be listed for that might get you in here sooner if you have a sense of urgency around that. If you were interested in applying to join the wait list, you would complete what we call a confidential data profile, very brief questionnaire that gathers your financial information and helps us determine what is affordable for you through end of life based on your current financial portfolio. Once you are qualified, you would place a reservation fee to get onto the list that would range between $25,000 and $99,000. The larger residences, the biggest apartments and cottages are in the 99,000 range. The smallest apartments, studios would be in the 25,000 range. And then we have various categories in between those two extremes. Your reservation fee would earn interest while it's waiting for you to be offered a residence. It'll earn 4% simple interest if you move in. If you decide not to move in, you leave the wait list or make a change of plans, you would not earn the 4%. You would earn 0.25%, 0.25%. And if you make other plans, you would get your reservation fee refunded to you. Um, uh, and we would subtract $1,000 cancellation fee. So it is mostly refundable reservation fee. That fee is actually, if you move in, that's applied towards your entry fee. So you do get it back in that it comes back, it is credited towards your entry fee. It's a really flexible process when you're on the wait list here at RiverWoods Exeter. If we call you before you feel like you're ready, there's no penalty for that. It's just a conversation. I know that different communities have different rules about how they manage their wait list. We don't have what you call a ready list, so that if we called you before you were ready, you would be penalized. It doesn't work that way at all. It's really our job to be flexible and work with you so that when you're ready, we have something ready for you. So that is the waitlist process. And we are going to answer a couple of what we feel are commonly asked questions, and then we will open up the Q&A queue for questions of yours. And I already see a couple of questions in there. So if you want to be thinking about that, Chrissy and I are going to go through 4 commonly asked questions. And Chrissy, I'll let you start the first one here.
Okay. So the first question, I have a long-term care insurance policy. Can I use this at RiverWoods Exeter? The answer is you can. You can use it if you are to transition at some point in your life to assisted living or nursing care. But we're really considered a long-term care policy, as Lisa had mentioned before, where you know what your monthly service fees will be as you transition into the different levels of care, because your monthly fee will not increase due to fees for service. However, there are some people who will keep the policy that they have now because they paid a lot of money into it, and it's been a really good one. You typically can't use it until you get into our healthcare. And then at that time, they would reimburse you for a part of the monthly service fee that you're paying.
Great. Okay. Second question. What happens if one partner in a couple needs a higher level of care? This is usually the way couples age, as they age at different paces. And oftentimes we do find that one partner does need a higher level of support, whether it be due to mobility change or a cognitive decline. So when that happens, the partner who needs more support could move into either an assisted living apartment or long-term care to receive the appropriate level of support. The healthy partner would remain in independent living, and thereby you would be actually occupying two different apartments, but continuing to pay the same fee that you did before, with one exception, and that is when our residents go into any level of health care, they are receiving 3 meals a day. So there's a nominal fee for those additional 2 meals that they're receiving.
Okay, I'll take the next one. Number 3, what if I'm not ready to move when you call me about an apartment? Do I go to the bottom of the list? And Lisa just described this a little bit ago. It is a very flexible thing, program here. We do not, uh, as she said, we do not have a ready list. So when your name is next on the wait list, we'll call you and ask you if you're ready. And if not, we just move on to the next person on the list with no penalty to you at all. If you do say you're interested at that time, that's when we conduct your final financial and medical qualifications. And then before showing you the apartment, once you see the apartment, that is considered the formal offer. And then you would have 3 opportunities in that case to go through that offer process before going to the bottom of the list. But again, if it's just a phone call, it is no penalty to you at all.
Great. And then the last question we're going to address here is how long do I have to move in once I'm offered an apartment or cottage? So generally, we are calling you about 2.5 months before you would need to pay your entry fee and begin paying monthly service fees. Our apartments generally take about 60 days to be refurbished. Cottages, usually longer, perhaps up to 90 days. But you would have a minimum of 60 days before you would need to pay your entry fee and begin paying monthly service fees. You don't actually have to be moved in, but you would start to be paying those fees once the apartment is ready for you to occupy it. We realize that there's a lot that goes into preparing to move. So we do recommend that people, if they know they're ready to come here, that they identify who they want their realtor to be, perhaps get staging photographs taken, do your downsizing so that when you do get the call from RiverWoods, you're in a pretty good position to be able to move quickly. We're fortunate in that in the last 5+ years, real estate market's been really strong, so it has not been a problem for most people to sell their homes. But generally, it is a 60 to 90-day window from once you're offered an apartment to when you need to pay that entry fee. Okay, we're going to open this up to questions, and I see a few in the queue. Is there a waiting list to get into the memory care or assisted living? We don't, as a routine, do direct admissions into those levels of care, but we will if we have space available. So it really just depends. Chrissy and I don't handle that side of the business. We sell strictly for independent living, but we'd be happy to put you in touch with the woman who handles the assisted living sales. Is there an evacuation plan in the event of a natural disaster, such as wildlife, flooding, etc.? Absolutely. We have plans in place. We have over 600 residents here that we need to care for. We also are close by a nuclear power plant. So we do have evacuation plans in place, and we have a very consistent cadence of testing for all of our alarm systems here and our alert systems for our residents. Chrissy, you want to cover the next one on dining points?
Sure, monthly bank dining points. As part of your monthly service fee, you get 548 points per person, which amounts to 30, or just roughly 30 meals per month, 1 meal per day. So that would cover either lunch or dinner, or you can use your points again for our marketplace and for guests. There are quite a few residents who tell me that they have more than enough points, and they're often using their points for family members and friends to come in. So there's really never been a problem with running out of points, but you can always buy extra points, 1 point per dollar.
Great. Thanks, Chrissy. We have a question about our IRS 990 form. I actually want to follow up with you about that. This gentleman says it's showing a $5 million loss, or lady or gentleman, excuse me, for each of the last 2 years. I know I've been asked this question, and I know I got an answer to this question, but I don't remember what it was. Our financial statements actually are quite strong. We are rated A minus by Fitch for our strong debt management. But the financials can look a little funky for communities like ours, where we're holding a certain amount as debt that is actually the refundable portion of entry fees for all of our residents that will be given back to them. I don't recall if that's the reason about the IRS 990, but we will follow up with you on that. So thanks for that question. Chrissy, do you want to answer the next one about refurbishment?
Yes, we do refurbish your apartment each time one opens up and you are moving in. And it's not our standard furnishings, standard paint, standard flooring, and choices as we refurbish the apartment that you would make would be on RiverWoods dime. The only things that you would pay for were if you were to do any particular customizations, for instance, shower doors, I'm trying to think, custom appliances, things like that.
Ceiling fans.
Ceiling fans, yeah.
Yep. Yep. What's the average age for people who move in now? The average age of people moving into independent living is 78. We do find that couples generally are moving in at older ages, and singles are generally moving in at younger ages than that because they want to have community and people to play with.
I'll take the next one. Are there any pre-existing medical conditions that would disqualify someone or result in a higher entrance fee? No, we do not have any pre-existing medical conditions that would disqualify you, and we would never charge a higher entrance fee for that either.
Great. I'll answer the next two. They're really the same theme, questioning about monthly service fees and how much those go up. Pre-pandemic, we were at about a 2.9% annual rate increase for about 15 years. Once we hit the pandemic, we had to take some unusually large increases because we increased minimum wage, and then we did a major nursing wage increase. So during the pandemic, 2 years in a row, we did 6 and 8% increases on our monthly service fees. Last year, we were back down to 3.25% increase. And then for this coming fiscal year, which starts July 1st, we will have a 3.75% increase on the monthly service fees. You want to take the next one, Chrissy?
Sure. Would you be able to qualify our finances so we can choose an apartment and determine affordability? We don't have any kind of general rule that we can give you. So the best way to do that would be to complete the confidential data profile. And then when we put that in our program, it would determine which apartment styles you would qualify for. And then it might be helpful. Sometimes it's helpful for people to do that ahead of time so that the tour, in-person tour, is we're available to show you the apartments that you qualify for.
Great. I want to apologize for those who had trouble registering and connecting with us today. It sounds like we had a little bit of a technical glitch. Fortunately, we do record this webinar and it will be emailed to all of you. who have registered, and all of you who haven't shown up will also receive a recording. So you can watch it in its entirety. So my apologies that we had a little glitch there, but thanks for hanging in there. We have a wonderful webinar coming up at the end of June on June 26th. The theme is protecting yourself from scams. So we're all getting scam attempts every day. It doesn't matter what age you are. We're all getting them through text and email. And Ron Long is going to join us and talk about how you can avoid that and what to look for. That's Thursday, June 26th. You can register on our website, or you can take your phone and scan this QR code here, and it'll take you to the registration page. The last thing I want to close with is we have a new service that we're offering here at RiverWoods. It's called RiverWoods NaviGuide. So for those of you who aren't living in a community but may feel like you need some additional help or resources at home, NaviGuide is actually a subscription service for older adults and their caregivers. It will provide you with a connection to a very broad range of support services and resources that you may not be aware of. And this is a new service we're offering. It's been successfully launched throughout the Midwest, and we're now bringing it to New England, to the Seacoast area. So if you're interested in learning more, you can go to our website and connect with Amanda Kelly, who is our liaison for RiverWoods NaviGuide. But great new service. It's just an example of the ways in which we're trying to broaden our reach and support people who are aging. So thank you for joining today. If you need more information, you can go to our website, or you can schedule a consultation with Chrissy or Dan or myself, and we'd be happy to help you learn more about us. So thanks, everyone, and have a great day.